Hey everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this updated video. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful weekend thus far. And so of course in this video we'll be taking a look at the latest across the North Atlantic, with focus being on the Caribbean in terms of what is expected for the rainfall and what is currently happening as well. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so and tap the notification bell so that you never miss an important update. Okay, and so let's go ahead and get on with what is happening. And we can see here that there is a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity noted across some areas. Take a look over in the US. We see lots of convection over there, and especially that blob over parts of northeastern Mexico as well as parts of Texas. That is likely inducing lots of rainfall within the area. And then of course looking over to the Bahamas, where we have the tail end of that front that extends into the Atlantic, we see lots of activity taking place there as well. And over into sections of Central America, you also see some activity, but along the edge, going from over in the Pacific and then also over in the Atlantic, we see lots of activity taking place. And so, of course, along the edge, there are very warm and moist conditions aiding in the development of all of those showers and thunderstorms. And this is going to sort of be the trend, especially as we're going to be heading into summer and throughout most of the hurricane season. The African monsoon is going to be aiding in those tropical waves that will be emerging from the continent. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at northeastern South America. So looking at the current satellite imagery, we can see that there is definitely some thunderstorm activity across some sections of Venezuela as well as over in Colombia and Brazil. But going to Guyana, French Guiana, Suriname, we're not seeing where there's too much happening at the moment. And French Guiana is actually kind of in the clear right now. As we can see, a lot of that activity has dissipated, and we can even see a section of the Windward Islands that there isn't much happening in the area as well. As a matter of fact, much rainfall activity is not likely across the area, and we'll be taking a look at the maps very shortly. But let's go on to the Caribbean, and we can see that there up in the Bahamas, lots of showers and thunderstorms. So all of that heavy rainfall is likely to continue as we're going to be progressing throughout today. And some of that could even spill into portions of the northern Caribbean, including Cuba. And of course, in the event of extensive periods of heavy rainfall, then that could trigger flooding. So please be aware of that, guys. Over in Central America, we've got some activity taking place as well. We definitely see the development of those showers and thunderstorms. Some of that cloudiness moving across Jamaica. Nothing much right now for the island. Same story for Hispaniola, and definitely going over to the east. Things are pretty quiet. It's a sunny morning. And so now let's go ahead and talk about the Saharan dust. So looking at the map right here, we can see that it has decreased in quantity across the Caribbean because, of course, we're seeing more of those shades of yellow. And as we head more towards those oranges and reds, that is indicating the dust being in more of an abundance. So we're seeing that there isn't too much across the Caribbean at the moment. But going out into the tropical Atlantic and closer to the coast of Africa, we see that it is definitely still there. It's pretty much dominant in large quantities. And south of that plume of Saharan dust, that is where we're having the activity taking place, because of course going back to the satellite imagery here of the North Atlantic, we're not seeing where much is happening within that area because the Saharan dust helps to suppress convective activity. So it's probably still a little bit hazy in some parts of the Lesser Antilles, but for the most part there isn't much dust in remaining in the Caribbean right now. And so in terms of the rainfall totals, let's go ahead and take a look at those from the GFS and Euro, and we're going to be starting out with GFS here. And so of course, as this map becomes more colorful, that is higher rainfall totals expected. And so there we have that key over to the right side of your screen with those colors and the values beside them. Now those values indicate how much rainfall is expected in inches. And so as we're going to be heading throughout today, we can see that the highest total totals are expected to be just in the vicinity of northeastern Mexico as well as southern Texas. We see those shades of purples and pinks, lots of rainfall activity from that blob of convection. We also see some of those higher totals expected in parts of the Bahamas as well, and rainfall expected throughout most of the northern Caribbean, Cuba, sections of the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Hispaniola going to Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. But of course, for majority of the Lesser Antilles, GFS is not anticipating that there's going to be much. Same story for the ABC Islands. And then of course, down in parts of northern South America, we see that rainfall activity is definitely likely. Then going on to the Euro, is Euro in agreement with this? So the model is definitely showing that rainfall activity across the Bahamas and parts of the northern Caribbean, of course, showing things being pretty much dry and sunny across most of the Lesser Antilles, going from Guadeloupe southward, including Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, and even in the vicinity of the ABC Islands. But for northern South America, of course, we're definitely seeing that rainfall activity likely throughout the different territories. Same story for Central America. And then, of course, we see those higher totals expected in parts of Texas as well as Mexico as a result of that blob. And so, of course, guys, during heavy rainfall events, there's always going to be that probability of flooding. So I'm just reiterating the fact that all necessary precautions are to be taken in terms of not taking any unnecessary risks. And so, guys, that is what is anticipated as we're going to be progressing throughout today. And so I'm going to be keeping you updated as time goes by. And so stay tuned for tomorrow's update video. So that is pretty much it for right now. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and you can also share your thoughts there. And of course, remember to always be weatherwise.